All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh by Shimi Al Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but their spirit bears witness that they're the children of Yahweh by Shimi Al Shai. And shalom to the real sisters out there. All right, today I want to go live on when they say peace and safety. And, addressing that Afghanistan withdrawal, because it's more of that, and you notice the symbolism with they're going to withdraw on 9/11 and start on May the 1st. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices around here. And, while that's going on, you have the George Floyd trial, that trial of Derek Chauvin, the murder of George Floyd, which, that could have been staged and shit, or it could have been sacrificed. By the, because he was both pieces and shit, but should be locked up. He's still locked up. But it looks like they're gonna let the dude loose. Hold on, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. All right, so anyways, yeah, you have that Derek Chauvin trial, man. Yeah, that trial going on, and now Esau was saying that George Floyd had heart disease and shit, and so now they're moving towards justifying that murder and shit. They're moving towards justifying it, which means they're moving towards clearing that devil, man. Like I said, whether it was a real staged event, this devil still participated in it, so he should still be locked up. But it looks like that they're gonna let that devil loose, give him a slap on the wrist. But based on how based on how it's looking, it's looking like based on how these devils are moving right now, it looks like they're gonna let this dude loose. Like they gonna let that devil loose. It looks like it. Hold on. And I was saying that I've been saying that they're gonna let that devil loose. It would fit in perfectly with their plans. Wouldn't it be some shit, right? They let that devil loose, and it looks more like they're more likely that they're gonna do it. You had that new shooting of that unarmed Jake in Minnesota, and this time, and that she devil, that Sheetamite cop that shot that the unarmed Jake. She was locked up, for a very short period of time. I believe it was like about a day or a little less than that, and then she was bonded out. So it's already I think a devil name that she devil cop. Her name is Kim Potter and shit. I think that's her name. But yeah, that bitch that did it. She got released. And they showed her for that devil that she was. They showed her countenance. Like she was not apologetic at all and shit. They showed it. In that mugshot. So and before they were like they have been emphasizing, like what good person she was and was. I heard like they was doing that shit, and then after they released her, then all of a sudden, that wasn't there no more like that. That wasn't there. That wasn't being emphasized by the media and shit. So now you have that. You have George Floyd trial, which I believe that's gonna be like, the straw that breaks the camel's back, because you have that. You have them Edomite cops that was harassing that Jake, that military Jake, brutalizing him and shit, tasering him, pepper spraying him and shit. Basically no reason. Basically they just harassed this dude and they tasered him and pepper sprayed him and shit, just because he was a Jake. And so now, so you have that, and you're shooting in Minneapolis of all places, and then you have that, yeah, you have those two events. So now more events for people to be pissed off at, and then they're moving towards a pardon of George Floyd, I believe. They're moving towards letting him go, letting him loose. I mean, Salakio of Derek Chauvin. My bad, I misspoke. They're moving towards letting Derek Chauvin go and shit. So while all this is going on, and basically the stage is being set, everything, the stage is being set, on both sides being heated and shit, ready for that race war. While that's happening, you have slash civil war too, because you have these. Well, a lot of the BLM is BLM is so-called white people. A lot of them, a lot of them are Edomites. Some of them may not be, but a lot of them are, and you have Edomites that's in there. Especially the ones that do the writing, the ones that are burning shit down and all that. Those be so-called white people mainly. Those are Edomites. But since it's under the banner of BLM, our people are blamed for it. And so, you have these regular ass Edomites and heathens that are already heated, they're still mad about last year's riots and shit. And then you have there are a lot of them are, there was on Trump's side, so they're mad about Biden winning. And then you have you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and Israelites that be like unto Israelite foreigners that be like unto the speckled bird. Some of y'all. And then you have basically our people, 2/3 of our people that 2/3 of our people that are gonna see this as a reason they can't trust the system, which is true. You can't trust the system. But since they ain't got the knowledge, they got the wisdom, so they don't got the stability. Since they don't have the knowledge that our weapons of warfare are not carnal, they're going to resort to carnal means. And this specifically Judah. These so-called black people that's being targeted. They want our people to basically get carnal because, because this devil is carnal, man. They want you to be. So of course, this devil wants our people to get on his level and shit. And so, I want to get that precept going into peace and safety, because that peace and safety shit, because while you have all that going on, you have them talking about, oh, they releasing a new stimulus. Them releasing a new stimulus, at the same time, it's pissing off the people. Like, they also got them, like, basically having hope for the future and shit. Oh, we got a new stimulus coming and shit. And you re-up. And they got a... Let me get that Bible. And also Joe Blow talking about we gonna withdraw the troops from Afghanistan and shit. Y'all saw that. Like, you have that. You have that, and that's also more of that peace and safety talk, which is why I titled that this video that. But let me get that precept. To Thessalonians and First Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 3. From when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So while they say peace and safety, when they shall say that, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. So that's what you gotta watch out for. You think, hey, when the media, when the media, these Edomite, well, now more, what I'm saying, they work for Esau. Esau say in the media that it's peace and safety, right? That don't worry, there's it's y'all don't gotta worry about shit, just stay calm. It's peace and safety. Peace and safety coming and shit. Or I know times it's fucked up, but it's peace and safety coming. Then don't believe it. Cause it's about to get real fucked up. That's what that means. Yeah. Cause verse 2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahweh so cometh as a thief in the night. Yeah. That day of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the day his son come back. That same time period, a day symbolizing that time period, not necessarily 24 hours. In that same time period, which includes Jacob's trouble, right? It's gonna come as a thief in the night. So everybody's looking forward to the new stimulus and shit. Some shit gonna pop off. And I believe it's gonna pop off from them saying that Derek Chauvin is not guilty, and just releasing that devil. I believe that that's how shit's gonna pop off. Yeah, so yeah, you're gonna, yeah, And let me get Matthew chapter. This is more Matthew 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Yeah. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. It's just the beginning of it. Because after that them race wars, man, after them race wars hit, which is nation versus nation, you're going to have the martial law, man. Yeah, after in the Civil War, it's also spoken about, and it's like kingdom versus kingdom as well, because they're like going to be basically like two separate countries, i.e. two separate kingdoms. So, you know, it's all there, man. And then you're gonna have after that, the World War III. You're gonna have the World War III, which is gonna come out of that kingdom versus kingdom. That's shaping up. Like they may be withdrawing from Afghanistan, but like don't get it twisted. There's them tensions with Iran. They're getting more heated. You know, especially after what Iran did. I mean, it's like what Israelis. Them people that they live in our land, but they're not our people. They live in our land but don't belong there. They're inhabitants of the land of Israel, or citizens. Not to be confused with Israelites. What they did, and what they did to Iran. They just keep provoking Iran and Russia too. They just keep pushing their buttons, and that Iran and Russia, they getting ready. They getting ready to they getting ready to make their move. Ukraine is over there pushing Russia's button, poking and prodding the bear and shit. And then you have them 1948ers in the state of Israel. You have those people, those devils. You have them. They're provoking Iran and shit. And what's gonna come out of that is this. Let me get it. Second Esdras chapter 13. The Carmenian joke. Get it. Second Esdras 13, 15, Salaku, 15 and 30. Also the Carmenians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild bulls of the wood, boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and do battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And what you have to understand about that scripture is that this place is it's known as Sodom and Egypt, spiritually Sodom and Egypt in the Bible, but also, it's like a modern day Assyria as well. It's all these wicked ass empires of these heathen nations rolled up into one, and even worse. Sodom, Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, shit, Rome, all of them rolled up into one and made worse. So these devils, man, they're also the modern day Assyrians. Because also they didn't just oppress the southern kingdom, but the northern kingdom, you so-called Latinos and Native Americans. The southern and northern kingdom was oppressed together. This is the land, the land of the modern day Assyrians, or the people who are spiritually Assyrians, who can be compared. They can be compared to the Assyrians as well. And that's why in Isaiah chapter 14, it says what it says. Isaiah chapter 14. Yeah. Isaiah 14:24. The Yahweh of hosts have sworn, surely saying, as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have proposed, so shall it stand. Verse 25, that I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders, because it's those 1948ers in our land. Hold on. It's those 1948ers in our land. They're modern day Assyrians, man. They're modern day Assyrians. And you have to look at it this way too. When the Assyrians took away the northern kingdom, took them into captivity, what happened? What happened was they basically they put heathens in the land. They put other nations in the land, and those people, they eventually came to be called the Samaritans. But but Samaritan mean inhabitant of Samaria. See the similarities. They inhabited the city of Samaria and that land as well. So the Assyrians basically did what the Edomites, what the revived Roman Empire did in 1948. Put those 1948ers, the ish that wished to be us, put them in our land. And those converts, right? They're converted for political reasons. They put them in our land. And to this day, they was claiming to be. They was claiming to be our people, and then since the 1800s, I believe they started claiming that to be the actual Jews before it was known that they were converts. But yeah, basically these devils took a page straight out of the Syrian playbook. So, these are the modern day Assyrians. They are. Spiritually they're Assyrians, should say. Just like spiritually they're Sodomites, they're Egyptians, etc. etc. They're also Assyrians. Y'all, hold on. I'm gonna be back. Shalom, shalom. All right, I'm back. Yeah, but these people, they're basically the modern day Assyrians, and that's what that goes back to. See, the Bible uses code words to describe this place. Because if this place was openly described, it was just called America, and it was the Bible just said the Edomites will be called so-called white in the future or some shit like that. If the Bible was just said it like that, it would have been banned a long time ago. And they would have destroyed it a long time ago. They would have banned it. So the Most High, Yahweh, man, he basically, that's how he basically left a message for us in the future, and only for a specific elect, because not everybody is meant to get this. And that's how he preserved his word. And preserved it for the elect, really, to get. Everybody else would just read it and not truly understand it. That's one of the signs that you're the elect, by the way. You have the true understanding of the scriptures. Especially, yeah. Hurts. Verse 31, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, And if they, oh yeah, well, I was going to say, and if you're Israelite man, it's a sign that you could be at a 144K. Well, let me continue going into this scripture. Yeah, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. So the dragons, right? Let's look into who these dragons are, right? Because I believe a few verses up it tell you, yeah, verse 20, behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. Verse 23, when the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, so those are the dragons. When the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Yep. Yep, Khan. They're gonna waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. You know, hey, hey, they're gonna shoot nukes towards this place, man. They're gonna waste it. You know, and then also the Carmanians. The Carmanians, they're the Iranians. Those are the Iranians. Carmania is a historical region that approximately corresponds to the modern Iranian province of Kerman and was a province of the Achaemenid, Seleucid, Arsacids, and Sasanian Empire. Okay, so it's Persia basically. Basically, it's part of Persia today. It's Persia, but back then it wasn't. The region bordered Persia in the west, Secrosia in the southeast, Parthia in the north, Parthia in the north, and area to the northeast. But it's basically it's Iran, so Persia basically, yeah. That's Persia. Yeah, and then of course Dragons of Arabia, that basically it says it shall remember their nature. So their nature is shall remember. Yeah. Let me get it. And it's when yeah. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand? Yup. Whenever the Carmanians join in, remembering their nature, And what does it say about Ishmael? He's in Genesis. They tell you Ishmael's a wild man. His hand will be against many nations and etc. They're gonna be against him. So they're gonna remember that. And they're gonna team up with these Iranians. You already can see it happening. And then you have Russia. So that's them two. And then you have Russia. And once Russia gets involved, it's basically, game over for the Babylonians, aka Assyrians. Game over for these so-called American devils, man. And then once that happens, the 10 horns that are supposed to be allies of Babylon, America, they're gonna turn on this place. they're supposed to be with the down with the whore, they're gonna turn on this place. They're getting tired of the whore. Yeah, you know, the Russians are also known as the Medes. And Isaiah 13:17, behold, it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Yep. Like they're not gonna care, man. Hey, this money that whether it's this FRNs that are these FRNs that are basically, ain't worth shit, or actual gold, they still gonna they still gonna they still gonna fuck you up. Like they're not gonna care. Verse 18, their bows also shall dash the young men's pieces, which is talking about the nukes, the ultimate, grand finale of all this. And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. You know, because the nukes, when they hit, it's gonna destroy everything in this path. Verse 19, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, of beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It's gonna be just like how Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed with fire and brimstone falling from heaven. It's gonna be just like that. Because that Adam nukes basically, yeah, that is fire falling down from heaven. That is fire and brimstone. That's even ingredient in the nukes. It's falling from heaven. Ezekiel 38 going to it more. That whole coalition, and then you go to Revelation 17, tell you about the 10 horns. I believe it's 17. So then you have the 10 horns. Yeah, Khan. Yeah, these 10 horns. They're gonna link up with Russia, with Iran, with these dragons of Arabia. All these kingdoms. They're gonna turn on this whore. Ezekiel 38, knows how it occur after Ezekiel 37, which basically about our people waking up and shit to who they are. After our people wake up, World War III. Jacob's trouble, World War III. After our people wake up. And our people been waking up, all around the world. They've been when this gospel shall be preached basically to all the nations, because we scattered among them. Then shall the end come. And then shall the end come. That's how you know. Yeah, 24 and 14. Matthew 24:14. In this gospel, the kingdom shall be preached to all the nations, in all the world, for witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. There you go. Yeah. Then you have Ezekiel 38, verse 1, and the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach, and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And God in the prince of Meshach and Tubal, the Russians, and prophesy against him. Verse 3, those are basically Meshach and Tubal. You look back at it, you're looking back at it, Genesis, right? Genesis, when it go over basically the sons of Japheth, because the original people that inhabited that land was Japhethites. So yeah. And then you had hold on. You had Magog was one of the sons of Japheth. Gomer and Magog. There's one of them. And one of the sons of Magog, I believe will be that if I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me see if they go into that or not. May not go into that like specifically, but then you get the picture, man. With the picture. I believe if you look into it, Meshach is in Moscow or something like that. See, I already know, man. You already know. Man. All right, let me go back to all of that. Verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I'll bring thee forth all thy army. Basically, turning them back to that Soviet mind state, the Soviet state of mind, Basically, they was like ready to confront Babylon and shit. Like they was like, fuck it, we're not taking no shit. We're not taking no shit from these Americans, these Babylonians. And horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, And the way he's been doing this is using these fucking Babylonians, bro. Because they've been doing nothing since 1991. These Babylonians ain't been doing nothing but provoking them, man. They ain't been doing nothing but provoking them. Them countries in Eastern Europe that are supposed to be like not part of NATO, they've been having them join NATO and shit. They didn't dismantle NATO like they're supposed to either. But Russia had, the Soviets, they had which became the Russians, they had to dismantle the Warsaw Pact shit. So all this they kept in mind, and they was like, okay, all right. And then the Russian oligarchs, which were, I believe they were 1948ers too, fucking them over. It was like, all right, and Putin caught in there. Hold on. See, you notice a pattern with these devils, man. These elite devils at the top. This is what they do. They have they put a certain country, through hell like that. They did that shit. These Edomites at the top, these Amalekites, right? They did that shit to their own brothers, the so-called Germans, man, which are mainly Temanites, which those are Edomites. So of course you have speckled birds among them, but that nation is the nation, the Temanites, that's what they're at now. They did that shit to them, and then just so they would basically vote for that devil Hitler, man. They fucked their whole country up just so they would do that shit. So it's the same shit going on here, because you have to remember World War One, World War Two, World War Three. What those were all planned out. Those were all planned out. Really, they go back to Albert Pike's plan, making these devils think that they, that the and the spiritual demon Satan, that the spiritual demon Satan, working with and them, they got it together, man. But really, go back to prophecy, man. Really, go back to prophecy. Really, that's how the Most High Yahweh is causing it to happen, because He controls both sides. Them evil, the left hand and the right hand. There's documentation of that in the Bible. Hey, the Most High, how He sick the evil spirit on King Saul, man. He had an evil spirit deceive him in the prophets, to deceive him. Basically deceive the man, deceive the king of Israel, King man. So there, the King Ahab was deceived by prophets that had a lying spirit. What brought evil? Evil means bad times. So hey, it's all there, but it's how it had to come about. And the spiritual demon Satan, he he gave that plan, to Albert Pike, that devil. I had to deal with. Let me get back to where I was. Basically, that's how it's playing out, and then so they've had that plan. In World War One, World War Two, they orchestrated it, and in World War Three, they doing the same shit, oppressing the fuck out of these out of these countries, having them just so they can basically having them come against Babylon, America, and its allies, but even the EU nations are gonna, the EU countries, which is the 10 horns, they're gonna turn on the whore. Even the EU countries, because everybody getting tired of Babylon. But it's gonna start off like this. Verse 5: Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Verse 6: Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Verse 7: Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou guard unto them. That's what you see. That's what you've been seeing happen in Turkey. That's Gomer, and Turkey is moving more towards Russia and shit. That's something you would never thought would have happened, but it's happening. Hold on. Because the U.S. And the EU, they're trying their fucking hardest to basically piss Turkey off, basically alienate them. Like they're doing the most to piss them off, and so Turkey is like, fuck that. I'd rather work with Russians and Iranians. So Russia is becoming a guard unto them. Verse 8, you saw that in Syria, Russia started taking on that role. In verse 8, even in Libya, sort of, but especially in Syria. In verse 8, after many days, many nations with them, with the, you also have the the Moabites, so-called Chinese, they're gonna be on the side of Russia as well. You could see it. Because they want to be the next top dog, basically. They want to be they want to take Babylon's place and shit. That's why they want to be like Babylon always. They eventually want to be better than Babylon. They want to take that top spot, be the next superpower and shit. But it ain't gonna happen. Everyone else got next after Esau. That's it. And Jacob. These so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and the Israelite foreigners that be like in the speckled bird. Hey, the underdog, right? Jacob. The people who they least expect to take over. Who they least expect. Everybody think China got next. Either that or they think Babylon going to continue. Yeah, mainly, if they say Babylon don't continue, then China probably got next. That's what they've been saying. That's just that's not gonna happen. Hey, Moab's proud as fuck. Verse 8: After many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come back into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against. Yeah, this land right here. This land right here, as well as the 1948ers too. They're gonna get it too because they're basically drawing Babylon in to the war. So they're gonna get it as well. Against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, was brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. That's referring to the people of Israel as well. That's in, so-called dwelling safely. It's two meanings to it, as well as the people that's because the people in that land over there, yeah, you could kind of say that, but they're not really dwelling safely. So it's referring to, you Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Israelite foreigners that live, especially living here in Babylon. Y'all think it's all good. I'll say this: after that after that race war and civil war chaos pop off, they're gonna implement that mark of the beast and shit, and then you 2/3 is still around. Y'all gonna fall for it. Y'all gonna fall for it and think y'all in good case. Then them nukes gonna hit from Russia. You know, hey, the Russian I believe that the symphony, choir, symphony and choir, a Russian symphony, I believe. That's what they're called. Basically they sung a song about Babylon, and one of the lyrics was niggas are sleeping. One of the lyrics was that. And why they say that? Why they say that shit? They know. Verse 9: They shall ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. They know where most of our people are at, even though our people are scattered throughout the world. They know that a lot of our people is in the land of the north, in Babylon the Great, North America. Hold on. So basically, yeah, they're gonna come down out of nowhere. Verse 10, thus saith Lord Yahweh, shall come to pass that in that same time shall things come into thy mind, thou shalt think evil thought. Verse 11, thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. Basically, they had no damn defense, bro. They don't have no defense. They don't have no defense. They're like, they're yeah, they have no defense, and it's been proven over and over that Babylon, USA, they where the mountains of Israel at right now. Jake is at right now, they don't have no defense. They don't. They think they do. They don't. So they're at rest because they think they do. Verse 12: to take a spoil, to take a prey, and to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, upon the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods to dwell in the midst of the land. Yep. That referring to what is Babylon, America known as? That melting pot, right? Because you have all these heathen nations that's all up in here. So those Edomites from these are the Edomite countries, right? As well as our people that was scattered throughout the world, throughout the four corners of the earth, that come over here thinking they're going to escape the curses. Yeah, it's self-explanatory. They have gotten cattle goods to dwell in the midst of the land. Verse 13, yeah, it comes, yeah, it goes into it. Sheba and Dedan, that's basically, that's over there in Arabia. And the merchants of Tarshish is talking about Spain, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, yeah. England, all that. Basically Europe and shit. I mean, hey, this is just a part of the story because in Revelation chapter 17, shows you how the 10 horns, these 10 EU, 10 original European EEC, EEC used to be called EEC nation or kingdoms. They're not nations or kingdoms or countries. From the Treaty of Rome, man. That's why it's known as the beast, the 10 horn beast. They're gonna turn on the whore. They're gonna take sides with Russia and with this coalition. They're gonna turn on the whore. Because they're tired of the whore too, man. The Babylon wants to basically, they're telling them where to get their oil from. Oh, you can't get it from Russia. You can't get it from Iran. You have to get it from us. Babylon is dictating to them where to get their oil from. They're telling them, oh, they gotta fight in wars and shit. When Babylon wants to start a war, they have to, be involved or pitch in. And it's never for their benefit. The war is always to benefit Babylon, and really, you look at it to benefit, the 1948ers. Not even so much Babylon, but the 1948ers, and they're fucking tired of it. And because what's been happening after these wars in the Middle East is you have these Ishmaelites, mainly Ishmaelites, immigrate, as refugees to these European countries, and these Edomites, these everyday Edomites, they're getting tired of them because Ishmael, Ishmael gonna be Ishmael whether they in the Middle East or whether they in somewhere else. So like basically, they're like they're taking our women and shit. You know how they be, right? You know, basically, so they're getting tired of that, and they're starting to figure out, oh, it's because our countries are involved in this NATO bullshit, and our countries are fighting them wars out there in the Middle East for who? The US. And why is the US getting us to fight these wars, be involved in them and shit? Why? For the benefit of the 1948ers, you know? So why don't we just have an alliance with Russia instead so we don't have to deal with none of that bullshit? You see, that's how why they're gonna turn on the horde. Let me continue on with this. These verses, art thou come to take a spoil, or gather thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle goods, to take a great spoil. No, they're gonna like destroy this place. Because they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna figure out that the only way to take this place is by really it needs to be destroyed. Yeah, yeah. And they're Edomites too, so they're being basically brought against their own brothers. You know. Also, these Russian Edomites know where the true Israelites are at. So, they are enemies too. They try and destroy us too. So of course, and they want to destroy us and destroy Babylon. And hey, they want to be the top dog. They want to have next too. It's all these heathens. They want to be. They think that they can be the next. Basically the next. The next superpower and shit. Basically, you know, which is why in Psalms, let me get it. In Psalms, hold on. Psalms 3, 2, and 1 says, "Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?" That's a vain thing because it ain't never gonna happen. Verse 2: The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, Verse 3: Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Yep. They're plotting and thinking that they're going to be successful. They're actually delusional enough to believe it. When the opposite is going to happen. Verse 4: He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, Yahweh shall have him in derision. Verse 5: Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Hey, hold on, y'all. I'm going to be back. Okay. All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, so back on it. Yeah, these heathens. That's why they're fighting at World War III, because they think that they're gonna be next too. They think, or Russia think they're gonna be next. Those devils. Um, but yeah, they think they're gonna be next. The Chinese, the so-called Chinese Moabites think they're gonna be next. All these people think they're gonna be next. Even probably the beast. Probably like, yeah, we're gonna be next. Go finally. We're gonna after we take down Babylon and shit. All these countries. Even even though yeah. These Amalekites themselves, 1948ers, think they gonna be next. All these people, man. You know, and especially Moab, especially Moab. Fuck. Trying to find that Pride of Moab scripture. Because Moab think they next.